experience in technology education and workforce development. He has championed initiatives that bridge the digital divide, empower youth with globally recognized certifications, and promote innovation for sustainable growth across the Ecowas sub-region. Now, tech is looked at as a silver bullet to solve a lot of the education problems on the continent and the sub-region, and Mr. Toyin Olatayo has all the juice and the gist. Can we put our hands together for him?
Thank you. Good morning, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, and good morning, our online audience. It's my pleasure to be at this great event to join the conversation on regional integration on education in West Africa. And I want to appreciate the organizer for putting on this event. So I just want to make a contribution on the role of digital literacy in education and how and what the role that technology is playing. This is not a new topic, this is something that's been on for a long time. But the only thing is that technology is changing, it's emerging. So it's a subject matter that we can never finish talking about. But what I'm going to focus on today is how we can all take collective action in ensuring that we promote educational developments in Ecowas region collectively using technology. And that's just what I'm going to focus on today. When we started our journey into promoting educational developments in Nigeria, there are 4 campaigns that we run, and I'll just mention a few of them. Number 1 is the future of learning. Several years ago, we all know that education was mainly traditional until the COVID period, when the lockdown forced everybody to move to remote working, online, and stuff like that. But this was a campaign we launched in 2007 because we knew about the future of education, and we called that campaign the future of learning. And that future of learning includes introducing technology in education, online learning, and all that. And we are one of the first organizations that introduced online learning through the Cisco Networking platform. The Cisco Networking platform has everything about it is online, all the courses, the training and everything and all that. So we introduced it and we started training educators, teachers, school management that a time will come that education in Nigeria will go online. And it's not going to be an option. It's not just going to stay, but different technologies that emerging, like AI. We're not talking about AI, replacing teachers and stuff like that. So number 2 campaign is digital inclusion. Digital inclusion. And what is digital inclusion? Digital inclusion is the ability of individuals and communities to access and effectively use digital technologies. Well, from our own end, we're able to focus on how this technology can be available and affordable and accessible to everybody, irrespective of where you belong to, irrespective of your class, your background, the kind of education you have when you're schooling. How can we're running it in collaboration with our partners in Ghana. And so we were cooperating with them. We had a series of workshops, a series of training. We went to several remote parts. Let me also share a story here. We took this campaign further. We wanted to see what other countries in Africa were doing. So we took a study trip to South Africa in 2015. And when we got there, the education ministry informed us that they have like a 5-year plan on making education to be completely paperless. Let me just read out what they told us. They presented to us the 5-year plan because we met the Ministry of Education. As a matter of fact, the Nigerian ambassador of South Africa actually welcomed our delegation. Now, this is where I'm going to. So, when they wanted to show us the practicality of their projects, they didn't take us to a school in Johannesburg. They didn't take us to school in Cape Town or Port Elizabeth, or the major cities. We drove like about 2 hours drive into a small town. And they told us that, they want to tell us that this project, this digital learning, can take place anywhere. It shouldn't just be exclusive to cities alone, that it can take place anywhere. And they encourage us that from Nigeria, that we can actually replicate the same, and they're ready to work with us. Honestly, that experience really changed my mindset that anything can actually possible. You know, it's just like driving like almost 2 hours from Lagos, not too bad, maybe to just a very small city in Oyo State or in Osun State that you can consider as the village. That was actually what it means to us. So, embarked on another campaign called the Talent Bridge. And what the Talent Bridge does is to bridge the gap between talent and opportunities. A lot of our young people have talents, but they don't have the opportunity to express those talents and all that. We believe that the technology we're using today was produced by a human being. Do you understand what I'm talking about? It's produced by a human being, and these human beings are not necessarily from another planet. We are all in these planets. The only difference is that I'm in Nigeria, you may be in Canada, you may be, but the most important thing is that we are on the same planet. And so, whatever is applicable to those people over here should be applicable to us. And we discovered that Africans has a lot of talents. So how do we connect them to this opportunity? And that was launched in partnership with some of our private sectors, and we begin to promote growth and innovation. So what is the goal of this talent bridge? The goal is that every student will come out confident, creative, creators of new technologies. So we're not just going to be users. Yes, it's good for a new software to be introduced from wherever it's coming from, and I become a user of it. But the question is that how can the Nigerian talent also produce similar technology that can also be exported? So that is the idea of that talent bridge. And that's also what now led us to the industry of the future. Because it's not enough for you to promote talents and connect them to opportunities. You also need to look at how the industry of the future is emerging. The industry of the future is very real. A lot of things are changing. And we are seeing it in AI, already. So we embarked on this project with tertiary institutions. But because of the way our educational system is wired, and because of the lack of platform and opportunities. So even including me, I had a very fantastic project that I did when I was in university. But I did it just to have a good CGPA. I wanted to have A and B so that I can have 2-1 or possibly first class, get out and get a good job. My mind was not thinking about how can I become an entrepreneur, or how that project can have commercial value or industrial value or commercial viability. And so we realized that up till now, it's still happening. Although a lot of universities are changing the narrative, but the intensity is not like the way it's expected. And so we begin to collaborate with all these universities along with the policymakers in education, and it's yielding results. It's really yielding results. Let me just give you one example. Even at secondary school level, there's one of the schools we work with the principal of that school then. The school is Federal Government Girls College, and the principal of the school then was so passionate about education. And so in collaboration with them and all stakeholders, we were able to build an humanoid robot. You can Google it on the internet. It was like 2-3 years ago, it was all over the internet. They had exhibition in a hotel and all that. And that's what we want to be producing. This thing was built by girls, secondary school girls, not even universities and all that. So we'll tell you, always telling you that Africa can produce talents. Thank you very much. So I will conclude by saying that we collaborate together, and we must sustain the collaboration. We must take action continuously. I appreciate what Dr. Mario has spoken, and also some of the questions, some of the contributions from the floor. So the next thing to do concerning this development in education is to see how all of us can build our energies, our strengths, collaborate together and ensure that we achieve what we want to achieve in education. And that's just my appeal this morning. So one of the ways we're able to also achieve that is to introduce platform for competitions, hackathon, international ICT champions, Olympics. Also to broaden the intellect of these young people. We introduce things like tech debates and tech quiz and all that. I don't have all the time. I have a lot of videos and pictures that I've shown you, but this is a conversation, and I hope we'll take this conversation to the next level. Thank you so much. God bless. All right, so if you have questions, so I'm ready to entertain questions because I'm doing this a conversation, not necessarily a lecture. So I've spoken already. I'm ready for contribution and questions and interaction. Thank you.
I could not pay attention to what you were saying because we were having some programming things that we had to. But I know that everybody here must have appreciated and learned something, and I will now push you people not to go to South Africa, but to go to Dakar, to Cote d'Ivoire, even just next door to Benin, more frequently. Do you have an association of people doing what you're doing? Are you in touch with people like you in the various Ecowas countries? That's what this program is about. Everybody should be communicating with their counterparts in other countries in West Africa so that they can learn best practices, they can work together, think the same way. When we are thinking the same way and we feel a sense of belonging, everything will fall into place. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much for your contribution, Mark. We're very open to collaboration. Like I mentioned in my speech that we connected with some of our counterparts in Ghana and also in South Africa. So when I heard about this event that's all about Ecowas and West Africa, I really got so excited, and I was really looking forward to see, audience from Senegal, from Togo, Mali, Sierra Leone, Ivory Coast, so that we can exchange papers and ideas and all that. So we're really open to that, and in Nigeria also we are really open up to collaborations, and that's why my ambition is about how can we all work together. I don't believe in working in silos. I believe in the power of cooperation and collaboration. So if we just stop and talking, we won't really achieve much, but we can bring our energies together. You are strong in this area, I'm strong in this area, and we have a roadmap. And give ourselves a roadmap. Within the next 3 years, this is what we want to see and all that. And so after that 3 years, by the time we have this conference, we're talking about collective success stories. And we're talking less about the challenges. So I think there's going to be any new challenge that is going to come in. Because we are strong, we're going to overcome those challenges. Thank you very much. So any questions? Yes, sir.
My name is Olatayo. The good presentation, and despite all the advantages, I don't know, I can't see any problems or disadvantages that we might need to really work with as a nation. Because looking at it, you talk about remote area, and we're taken in South Africa to a very far remote area. Considering a country like Nigeria or other West African countries, where infrastructure is not there. When I talk about infrastructure, I talk about number one, electricity. Number two, the internet, because that is the platform. Internet is the platform. When you talk about global village, when you talk about digitalization, the internet must be there. Where there is no good network, how do we resolve this? That's number one. Number two, affordability of the school, more especially the issue of allocation to school and what have you. Because what I know, what I feel is this, the only institution that can really provide this is going to be private. Once our government are not that committed and we do it more serious. Yeah. not that committed. We're expected to get committed. So how do we resolve all these areas? Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for that question. So that's really that's something that is not easy. There's so much infrastructural gap in Nigeria, particularly in the area of power and internet. And well, the government over the years have been talking more to the private sector, and we've been talking to some companies, though they are foreign anyway, but they have left education. And so one of the things they are planning to do is that in these remote places where there are no internet and power, they are ready to support those communities with that, so that this digital inclusion, this access to digital literacy can be a reality to them. Right now we're talking to two of them. In fact, there's one of them that's even willing to build service repair center, mini factory. They are so serious about it. They even sent us their plan. There's a lot of talks going on. So if everything works out for them, we are going to move a step further in ensuring that remote communities are not denied of the benefit of digital literacy just because they don't have power or there's no access to data. I don't know whether I'll be able to address that to some extent. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, MC.
Ladies and gentlemen, the question for Mr. Toyin Olatayo, CEO of United Cisco Networking Academy. I think that throughout this event and for the remainder of this conversation, we're going to say a lot about all the problems that exist and all the things that government can be doing. But I like that in his last response, he said we need to think outside the box. We need to think about what we can do whilst we're waiting on government.